डबल अभी आएंगे वो स्पॉटलाइट में।
नितेश,
यस सर, सो वी विल स्टार्ट सर।
आप शुरू कर दो।
यस
शुरू कर दो, है ना? अभी वो ज्वाइन नहीं कर पाएंगे तो बीच में ज्वाइन कर देंगे कहीं, है ना?
जी बिल्कुल सर।
ठीक है, तो अभी
थैंक यू सर।
ठीक है।
यस सर, वी विल स्टार्ट द सेशन। So good morning everyone. Good morning. Myself, Mr. Nitesh Kataria, at Engineering College Banswara, welcomes you all to this one-day webinar, a national level webinar on gender equality and rights, jointly organized by Engineering College Banswara and BBM Vidyanagar, Gujarat. Starting with today's webinar, I would like to first welcome our principal sir, Dr. Shivlal sir, for a welcome speech on the topic and to start our today's webinar. So I welcome Dr. Principal sir. Yes, Shivlal sir.
Okay.
Please, yes sir.
Thank you, Nitesh.
Thank you sir.
I welcome the resource persons, Dr. Sarlabh ma'am, Engineer Madhuri Yadav, Sri Shailesh Goyal ji, Dr. Ramala Dayal ma'am, and all the delegates who have joined or registered in this webinar. We have selected the resource persons from various fields like education field, IT field, power generation field, law and judiciary field, and government administrations for more benefits or for best outcome or knowledge delivered to the delegates. So welcome you all, and please like our Facebook page, YouTube channel, and also see our college website. You are also requested to see the images of Engineering College Banswara and Banswara city on Google, and you will feel the Banswara is the heaven on the earth. So welcome you all in this webinar, and best wishes.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to continue our sessions, and for that I would like to invite Ms. Rajni Kapil, Assistant Professor at Engineering College Banswara, to introduce you today with our experts and to start today's session for this webinar. So I welcome Ms. Rajni Chaudhary ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We have all gathered here for the TechCube third sponsored one-day national webinar on gender equity and rights. As this webinar is being organized by Engineering College Banswara under the mentorship of BDM Engineering College Anand, which is our training partner. Now let me introduce you to our resource persons, Mr. Shailesh Goyal from the power sector, Dr. Irmala Dayal from the judicial sector, Dr. Salya Pandya ma'am from the academic sector, and Mrs. Madhuri Yadav from the IT sector. We are sorry to inform you that our chief guest and the keynote speaker of today's webinar could not join us due to some official work. So she will not be able to join us for this meeting. We will carry this webinar with our eminent speakers from different sectors. Without further ado, let me introduce you to Mr. Shailesh Goyal. Mr. Shailesh Goyal is here. Okay. While women have made great strides, gender equality gaps still exist. And thus to highlight this, we have Dr. Irmala Dayal. She is a lawyer and principal at VT Choksi Sarvajanik College of Law. She has qualification in PSc, LLM and BLB. I invite ma'am to share her experience on this webinar.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, organizing team, for giving me this opportunity to share my views regarding gender equity. Friends, I would like to share my PowerPoint presentation with you. Just bear with me for a couple of minutes.
हाँ तो अब हो रहा है ना नहीं आपको नहीं बोल रहा हूँ हो तो रहा है ये प्रेजेंटेशन
Can you see my presentation?
Yes, ma'am, we can see your
उनके
presentation.
उधर से कैसा आएगा मुझे देखना पड़ेगा
And can you kindly mute the others?
So, Praveen, Madam sir,
Thank
Ajay
you.
sir, Ajay sir, please mute yourself, please, sir.
Okay, thank you. Friends, we are proceeding with my views on gender equity, and I will try to bring judicial perspective to this talk today. When you talk about gender equality or gender equity and rights, then it is important that we know what is the definition of a right. According to the jurist Salmond, right is an interest which is recognized and protected by law. Means if I have a right and someone infringes my right, then I should have a means to protect that right, should get appropriate redressal for that right. And when this talk is regarding judicial perspective related to gender equity and rights, I have started my presentation with two case law. The first, HB versus White. The second, Jones versus Maynard. In HB versus White, which was decided by English courts in the year 1703, the Court of King's Bench of England, it was observed that right and remedy are reciprocal, and it is a vain thing to imagine right without remedy. Want of right and want of remedy are reciprocal. So way back in the year 1703, the importance of right was highlighted in this judgment. Now in Jones versus Maynard, we specifically talk about importance of rights of a wife. This case was also decided in 1951 in England. In this case, there were husband and wife. Both had a joint account. Both were depositing money in this account. Husband was a soldier. He used to deposit more money compared to the wife. Wife used to withdraw and spend more money from the joint account compared to the husband. One fine day, they decide to get separated. The court divides this joint account equally to between husband and wife. Here, kindly mute your devices. Here, husband requests the court that as he had deposited more money in the account should be meticulously divided and he should be given more amount compared to the wife. Kia Court in 1951 also refuses and observes in this case that when the husband and wife had deposited money in that account, there were feelings of mutual affection. At the same time, they intended to jointly deposit and share the resources also jointly. So here they divided the account equally between husband and wife and did not give more money to husband as requested by him. Friends, this was 1951. The husband even feebly made an attempt to ask for more money. Today, if a husband will ask for more money, the wife is going to reply, "Your money is mine, my money is mine, our money is mine." So today, I don't think we'll even think about getting divorced if they can avoid it. It proves to be very expensive end of the day. We again move forward. When you talk about, you refer section 10 of Substantive Criminal Law of India, which is Indian Penal Code 1860. Section 10 is defined woman as a female human being of any age. Friends, when we talk about women empowerment, then or rights of women or equality regarding men and women, it is not always that rights of women have been overlooked. There are instances where rights of women have been respected and women have been given their dues. I am here talking about a very old play, Antigone. This play was written in the year 441 before Christ by Sophocles. If you have time and you can go through this play, friends, you will come to know that even 440 years before Christ, in this play, Sophocles made Antigone, a female character, his central character. The lead character of this play is a female, and she talks about human rights, she talks about family relations, she talks about natural law, divine law. So it is not that we are talking about rights of women in the contemporary society. No, the rights of women have been recognized since ages. But yes, at times we have more instances of rights of women being infringed also. Hence requirement of women empowerment. Hence requirement of such webinars where we talk about rights of women. If we talk about Manusmriti, which was written by the first lawgiver of India, Manu, we will find the provisions such as this, where women are provided place of honor, gods are pleased, and reside there in that household. So Manusmriti also talks about rights of women. The first law or the code related to law in India. Women do belong to vulnerable group. Vulnerable group means such a class, such a group where because of their biological inferiority compared to male members, they have been exploited since centuries. And hence we have to take steps to empower women. Empowering women means giving them all opportunities which they deserve. It is not treating women exactly as men. No, empowerment doesn't mean that. Empowerment means to give the same opportunities which a boy will of that age in that circumstances receive. And then let the girl exploit her potential to the maximum possible. You talk about women empowerment, then here we talk about different sectors which have contributed towards bringing equality in this society. And we begin with an international instrument. This international instrument related to protecting rights of women is CEDAW, that is Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. India is a signatory to this international instrument, and this instrument provides an agenda which every member state should incorporate to end discrimination in that territory. India discharges its duties under CEDAW. Now, just off the record, friends, why will any country discharge its duty under a treaty? The basic international principle which motivates us to fulfill our duties under a treaty or an international instrument is pacta sunt servanda. This principle of international law means if we have made a promise, we should fulfill that promise. आपने वादा किया है, आपको निभाना पड़ेगा. That is the crux of all international obligations, and this is diligently followed by most of the developed civilizations today. Now, when we talk about CEDAW, CEDAW talks about obligations of the family to protect the rights of females. CEDAW talks about obligations of all sectors and all stakeholders, including society. It is the responsibility of the society that a working mother can take care of her family as well as have a satisfactory and enriching professional life also. And this is the only international instrument which talks about reproductive choice and rights of women also. Friends, there are three organs of the government: legislature, they make laws; executive, they implement those laws and policies; and judiciary. So the contribution of all these three organs is very important in protecting rights of women. When we talk about judicial approach, we can talk about the case law, Vishakha and others versus State of Rajasthan. In this case, in the year 1997, when the issue regarding protecting the rights of working women came before Supreme Court of India, Supreme Court of India realized that very sadly, there were no legal provisions protecting the rights of working women in India. So in this case, Supreme Court laid down guidelines for protecting the rights of working women in India with an observation that till an appropriate law is enacted by our legislature, these guidelines for protecting the rights of working women shall be followed and adopted by employers in our country. Now, these guidelines and norms cast a duty on employers and other responsible persons at workplaces and other institutions to have a proper mechanism to protect the rights of women, their safety, and in case of complaint, then there should be a complaint redressal committee also. Friends, when we talk about the contribution of legislature, members of parliament for, protecting the rights of women, we talk about Article 14 in Constitution, 15. I've given a list over here. But very sadly, when you refer all these articles, this talks about right to equality. These articles talk about there should be no discrimination. These belong to directive principles of state policy. This belongs to fundamental duties. When you refer all these articles, here you will find that female women stands alone. All these articles you talk about equal rights of both men and women, no discrimination against both men and women. Here, when you refer Article 51A, Part 4A of Indian Constitution, you'll realize that this is one duty which is cast on Indian citizens, which pertains only to females. It asks Indian citizens to renounce all practices derogatory to women. We move forward. There should be equal remuneration provided to both male and female. Very sadly, this is not true for all sectors throughout the globe today. I will come back to this later on if we have time. These are certain legislations dealing with rights of women. We don't have time to go into the details of all these legislations, friends. But few legal provisions I will try to discuss if time permits. Okay, now we talk, I'm audible, Bulbul man, shall I continue? No issues?
Yes, ma'am, you can continue.
Okay, and just let me know when I have to end, okay? Now we talk about Maternity Benefit Amendment Act 2017. Friends, if you have time, go to this amendment, or if you have time today or whenever. What is important over here is that this amendment has put a duty on employers to provide crash and such other facilities for working women on their premises. Now, this is provided by employers also if they are having 10 or more female workers, and there are the conditions for it. But this act casts additional responsibility on the employers to educate those females working under them or working with them, and make them aware that these facilities are available for you if you want to use them. Friends, I have personally seen cases where crash is there, but it is locked. And when I ask the management, the employers, that you have the infrastructure, why not female employees are availing this facility? They say they don't come and ask us, so we don't keep it open. But this act casts an important duty on employers to inform the female employees that these facilities are there, they are safe, they are secure, and you can avail them. So when I read the act, I was wondering why they have written this, that you should educate your female employees. But when I saw the crash being locked, I understood that till the employers take initiative and publicize this effort of theirs, female employees might not take benefit or advantage of this facility. This act protects rights of working women. It was enacted in 2013. Now, friends, this act was enacted because guidelines were laid down by Supreme Court in Vishakha's case in the year 1997. So it took more than 15 years to enact a law for protecting rights of women. So till now, from 1997 to 2013, all employers had to abide by guidelines laid down by Supreme Court in Vishakha's case. When you refer Section 149 of Company Law, this also provides for appointment of women directors if the company has met certain ceiling and so. So all these legislations are legal provisions, judicial contribution. All these things I've touched over here, they in a way contribute towards gender equality. If you refer Consumer Protection Act 1986, there is a provision in this act that one of the members of the District Forum, the State Commission and National Commission shall be a woman. So somehow they are trying to see that at all stages in society, females are there in decision-making process also. If you refer Shreya Singhal versus Union of India, in this case, Section 66A of Information Technology Act 2000 was found to be unconstitutional as it violated the fundamental freedom of speech and expression as enunciated in Article 19(1)(a) of Indian Constitution and not saved by provisions of Article 19(2). I'm not entering into the nitty-gritty of fundamental freedom of speech and expression. No, this is not a program belonging only to law faculty. But what I want to bring to your notice here, friends, is that Shreya Singhal was a female first-year law student, and she had the support, the foresight. Support means someone from Supreme Court definitely helped her. She had the foresight and the support and the courage to file a PIL in Supreme Court and have that unconstitutional provision removed from our legislative provisions, from our act. So women do contribute towards gender equality themselves also at times. She said, what do you say, an example, that if something is wrong, girls also have courage to raise their voice against it. Behind filing this petition, there were innumerable instances, cartoon caricature of some politician in West Bengal and professors were arrested. Mumbai politician passes away and some young girls tweet and they were arrested. There were innumerable instances. I don't want to get into all those things. But this is a contribution of a first-year law student who was a female. Okay. Now, when I talked about equal remuneration, then I told you in all sectors, women do not get equal pay as compared to male, and it is true throughout the globe. A couple of years back, there was news that gender pay gap exists in BBC also. So BBC has been established under a statute. It talks about freedom of expression in England, yet gender pay gap is very prominent over there also. This is the site I referred for sharing this information with you all. On this site, it is claimed that for the movie Kal Ho Na Ho, Kareena Kapoor asked same payment as Shah Rukh Khan. Karan Johar refused and replaced her with Preity Zinta. And at the same time, if you surf, you will find that they all talk about equal payment. Even Karan Johar talks, even Kareena Kapoor talks, even Shah Rukh Khan talks. But this site claims that she walked out because she was not given her dues, as same as her male counterpart. I don't know the truth of it. It is mentioned on this site. Kangana Ranawat is one actress who is very vocal about getting equal remuneration as her male counterparts. We don't have time to enter into these 2 points, but just let me talk about the Me Too movement. We all are aware that Me Too movement talks about the rights of female and when they are exploited by their colleagues and so on. But one very sad after effect or a side effect of this movement is that many females in certain sectors are not being promoted. The male counterparts are scared. If any action of ours is construed as harassment, then we will have to face the music. So just by protecting the rights of women and particularly working women, perhaps we are at times moving towards gender discrimination also, that they are not promoted just because she is a female. She is not employed just because of her gender. So this is a worrisome side effect of this movement. There are many only girl child schemes promoted by our executive. If you have an only female child, one child, you might get more interest compared to other counterparts. So I don't want to enter into these policies. You can refer them on your own. Now, if you refer today, the National Commission for Women website, this is the message you are going to get, that in case of domestic violence, you can quietly WhatsApp on this number and aid will reach you. So in this pandemic situation also, government, National Commission for Women, is trying to stop domestic violence and really help those females who are undergoing this violence. This message will flash for a while, then it will go away. But if you want, you can refer it. If you today go to Ministry of Women and Child Development website, these are the advisories you'll find on the website, protecting rights of women during this pandemic. And this advisory, the very first one, dated on 25th March, talks about making provisions for the social activists and other members of Women's Cell to reach their offices, asking the collectors to prepare their roster, give them transportation facilities. So in case if someone calls them regarding domestic violence, they can help those females. See friends, after 22nd March, we are facing lockdown, and 25th March itself, proactive Ministry of Women and Child has posted this advisory on its website. You can refer this, it is there even today. So this is again contribution towards protecting rights of women. Others you can go through on your own. We won't have that much time to discuss in detail. I couldn't put this snapshot properly, but anyway, screenshot properly, I'll share with you. United Nations organization has also made an attempt for protecting rights of women. And if you today go to the United Nations website, there is a tab Women Rights for All, and world women leaders have joined hands to provide solidarity for protecting livelihoods from COVID-19. I have not gone through all the women leaders' viewpoints. I've just posted Dia Mirza's viewpoints over here. She is a Sustainable Development Goals advocate of Secretary General, and she talks about better times once this pandemic is over. So it is not always a female are downtrodden. Since ages, there are instances where rights of women have been recognized, but this is possible when there is active contribution from all the stakeholders in the society. With this, I put an end to my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening us that a woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman, but the search to find that voice can be remarkably difficult. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your presentation and views regarding the gender equity and their rights. Now I request Mrs. Madhuri Yadav. Now I request Mrs. Madhuri Yadav, Associate Consultant at TCS, for her views on the today's webinar topic, gender equity and rights. Ma'am.
Thank you, Rajni. Thank you, everyone. Such a great speech by Irmila ma'am. And we get into so many deep information regarding laws and policies and the legal policies, which is there intact in our government, in our system.
Thank you.
And it was really very nice information. Many things I was also not aware of. So I was literally hearing it very properly, because that is what every working woman should know. So thank you about that insight, ma'am. So let me give you a little brief introduction about myself. I'm Madhuri Yadav, working in Tata Consultancy Services since 12.5 years. I have technical as well as management experience in TCS. 12.5 years only. And then I have done my BTech from Government Engineering College, Kota, right now formerly known as Rajasthan Technical University. So let me start with all this gender equality topic. So I don't have that presentation, sorry about that, but I'll try to be more interactive with you all. So anyone want to stop me in between, I'm happy to answer your questions. And even ma'am, Sarala ma'am and Irmila ma'am and whoever is there, I will be happy to answer those questions which is related to my field might be. Today, the gender equality. As Nirmala ma'am well specified, so that is actually the topic of equality for all the genders. It is not just for women. We have men, women, and even transgenders as well in our society, which all knows, which we all know that they need equality in the society, all equal rights related to their safety, empowerment, and everything. So. Actually, here in India, mostly what I feel is literally that meaning is being transformed to women empowerment, because that is actually required, where we have not a good ratio of male and female in our society, because we have for all 1,000 men we have only 924 around women present in our society. So I think that is the reason we always talk about more about female equality, where we talk when we start talking about gender equality. So we somewhere we think like that is somewhere required to protect their rights. So let me give you little bit brief pointers why we actually have that inequality. Somewhere I feel like it's a cultural or society mindset which we have due to security reasons of female, and then we have some bad, I can say society rules. We can say like dowry and all those things. That is not actually, I mean, thing to mention here, but that is the harsh truth we have in our society. So that is why somewhere females are being not proactively supported by every family in India. So, but with time, I think we are in a revolutionary world. So, with time, we are feeling like there is much more steps taken by government, public and private sectors, where we are trying to protect their rights, we are trying to protect their interest, and trying to empower them so that they can come forward and they can contribute to our society. So let me start with a little introduction and the information to be shared within IT sector. So in IT sector, we have multiple programs running right now, and not even in TCS. In my company, it's like multiple sectors where we have manufacturing, we have IT sectors, and we know education is, women's are doing phenomenon. They have done a very good job everywhere. We have teachers, we have professors, we have lawyers as well, lawyers and principal like Nirmala ma'am, Sarla ma'am. So we have very nice examples in our society where we can say like there is nothing. I'm just talking about theoretical things. It's a practical, it's a live examples we have. So although I feel like this is just not a one night or one day process, it will take time to change our thinking and mindset, so that we can change our contribution, women contribution in society. So let me talk. Some points are already given by Nirmala ma'am. So, but there are multiple policies in IT sector where we have like 6-month maternity leave, which earlier was not there. It is amended in 2017 only. So it is very great step taken by government of India. So because that is highly recommended somewhere, because we need to, we are building blocks of new society, new generation. So we have to take care when we have interest in technical field or any working workplace where we want to continue our work along with our family. So there is actually some reformations required, and it came into place. That is very nice part. We have childcare leaves as well. Long leaves are greater than 90 days. We can take up to 1 year. So in IT sector, we have that. Not sure about all other sectors, but that is what every IT company has. So you can take leaves for your kids' board exams or your child care for your child to care after, if after you have only one member in family to take care of your child before he or she went into start going school. So that is one of the policy we have. Then we have right protections for. We have multiple portals where we stop, the sexual harassment. So it is not just for women; it is for everyone in the company. So whoever feels like they are sexually harassed or they don't have the rights to speak, so there are portals where they can go and raise their voice against that harassment. I cannot say because I'm since 12 years I have felt that this is not just a woman where they are harassed by someone. There are males where we feel like people are not actually valued. So that is why we need to protect everyone's right. So that is a good thing we have in IT company. We have policies of taking role as per your family conditions. So there are multiple roles which are sometimes I'm in technical role and then it demands me to travel outside India, but I due to my family conditions I don't want to travel or I cannot travel. So there are multiple roles which I can convey to my management as well as my HR that this is problem I have in my family. I cannot travel, so or I cannot work in late night shifts or late evening shifts. So they have they have options to, or we have options to choose from those roles where you can have a proper schedule of your working hours so that you can give time to your family and your kids as well as your office. So I think somewhere it's not just you, it's your family, it's your management, your employer who usually help you to continue your work post your responsibilities, like after marriage, after having kids. So we have multiple options there which are given by employer to you to work post your additional responsibilities. So I think that is very good part in IT, and I think there are multiple sectors as well, finance and everywhere, where I found cases, I found examples where those rights or those support was given. So that is one of the point I want to mention. And then again, there are some surveys which have been taken for how the woman is actually contributing to our economical growth. So being a woman and working earning hand in your family, you always encouraged to have economical growth in your family. And when you have a nice growth of your family, it automatically contributes to your society and to the government. Yeah? And then we can say like it's a GDP which is getting increased due to people who have the family with earning multiple hands, right? So I think that is very good part. And somewhere from our family and from our society, we need to get that support. And I have felt that is already given, but not 100%. So that is why we always try to talk about women empowerment and then equality, because we know that if women are working along with men, then their men should also support at home, right? Because it is like a mutual support. So we are trying to support our family with economically, then there is a helping hand which is which is being given by our family, our husband, our mother-in-law, or whosoever is with us, right? And also management, definitely I have very good managers. I had luckily I have that and still have. So people, they do understand the family conditions. And when I'm having 3-year-old kid, and after maternity when I went to back to my office, so they were like, okay, you, if you don't want to, or if you cannot work 9 hours, just go for 2 hours and just take care of your kid, because it's just a 6-month-old baby. So it's like employer always. So where you cannot force someone or your employer to that I don't want to work post 7 hours or 8 hours because I have small kid. They need to understand there should be a always a supporting hand should be or supporting word should come from their end, and which is, I think, somewhere in our, not all sectors, yes, Imla ma'am said, yeah, that is very true. There are pay gaps because of this, but somewhere this is being taken care. It's by I have portal in my company where I can raise my voice if that pay was having some compensations, or the salary issues were there. So I can prove myself. I have proper appreciation or something like that. I can show to my management that this is what I did and this is how I was appreciated. So you cannot say no to my compensation or no to my promotions, right? So and we have so many examples. We have Indira Nui, she is CEO of PepsiCo. We have Sudha Murthy. She is supporting hand of her husband, and she is driving actually backend from backend the whole Infosys. So I mean, we have very good examples where women are on the top, and surveys itself says that financial things are well maintained by female more than male. So it's not about like they cannot maintain, but in house as well, in our home, if men and women, husband wife, both contribute to the decisions making in a family, that family growth is very different, and where the just 1% decision is taken care, right? So so in financial institutes as well, where we have financial firms and economical firms, their female contribution, or we can say percentage of increasing, or the female working women, I mean female associates in the company, that actually increase the economical growth of that company. So that we have multiple examples of that. So mostly financial institutes, banks, and there you can say, or you have seen that the contribution or the ratio of male and female is maintained there, because everyone knows that is just like family. We have office, or we have firm where male and female decisions both should be taken care and should be considered, right? Considered. So that is what my point is. We have, I think, in India as well, I have seen multiple, I mean, I have seen big change here since now, whatever age, I will not disclose my age, but that is what the total experience, whatever I have. And now we have seen, since I was a child, and now when I am I'm a mother, I have seen this phase, and I can say, just like we have experienced people here, they have seen that big change, where we were not that much supported during when we were child for education. Now we have multiple support from government, from firms, I mean the IT or public or private sectors, and then family as well. We have family which are now, by whatever reason, if you trying to show your interest that I want to study, or your parents think like you need to study or you should study, whatever reasons are there, but there is a support which has been drastically increased for us. So I think that is a big game changer here, and we should be really happy about it. But along with that, we should also protect, male rights. So we have policies, legal policies, which Irmala ma'am can tell you the website which you can refer. So, but that is very interesting thing for our society to have such a good environment for us to work. But be safe, because still we have yet to go long distance after this. So because somewhere safety issues for men and women are still exist in society all over globe even. So we need to be really cautious about that, and so that we can go ahead and contribute to our society, our family, our firm, and even the government, that then we'll be in a good shape, So that's all from my end. This just no one has questions. I will be happy to answer them if they want to ask anything or regarding IT firm or challenges we face, or what are the different policies we have. I can explain that. I can give you a little brief introduction about it if anyone is interested.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Talking about the male rights, I would like to share that during this registration, we had 50-50 percentage of both male and female participants. So here
that is
we
really
have,
nice, really nice.
Thank you
So
so much.
because we both, even male or female, we both need to understand each other's place in this world.
Yes, ma'am.
We both we need to have. We cannot empower one single gender and overrule others. So because we together can bring that big change, and alone we cannot. So
Yes, ma'am.
that is why.
That's why, ma'am, the topic of the webinar is gender equity. It's not specified that here only the women's gender is being equitized. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the presentation. Now I'd like to invite our next resource person, Dr. Sarla Pandya, ma'am. We are very glad that she is with us here at the college for this webinar. And I request ma'am, before that, let me introduce her. She is a principal at SDG Government College, Paswada. Now I request ma'am to please start her presentation.
रजनी मैम, इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज बांसवाड़ा एवं एवीएम इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज आनंद के एकीप थर्ड द्वारा प्रायोजित लैंगिक समानता एवं अधिकार विषय पर एक दिवसीय वेबिनार में न्यायिक क्षेत्र से प्राचार्य मैम, आईटी सेक्टर से माधुरी मैम, पावर सेक्टर से सम्मानित गोयल सर, इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज के प्राचार्य श्रद्धेय शिवलाल जी सर, संयोजक मैम, पीएचडी इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज के समस्त स्टाफ, वेबिनार में भाग लेने वाले सभी प्रतिभागियों को मेरा सादर प्रणाम एवं सभी का लैंगिक समानता एवं अधिकार विषय में महिलाओं की स्थिति, भूमिका एवं लैंगिक समानता एवं अधिकारों की आवश्यकता विषय पर अपने विचार प्रस्तुत करूंगी। लैंगिक समानता को सामान्य शब्दों में कहा जा सकता है कि लैंगिक आधार पर महिलाओं का भेदभाव शब्द के द्वारा हम समाज में पुरुष एवं महिलाओं के कार्यों एवं व्यवहारों को परिभाषित करते हैं। लैंगिक समानता इस धारणा को जोड़ती है कि सभी मानव और पुरुष महिलाएं दोनों अपनी व्यक्तिगत क्षमताओं को विकसित करने के लिए स्वतंत्र हैं। महिलाओं एवं पुरुषों के विभिन्न व्यवहारों, आकांक्षाओं और जरूरतों को एक समान माना जाए। भारतीय संविधान में लिंग समानता के लिए सकारात्मक कदम उठाए गए हैं। संविधान की प्रस्तावना हर किसी के लिए सामाजिक, आर्थिक एवं राजनीतिक न्याय प्रदान प्राप्त करने के लक्ष्यों के साथ ही अपने सभी नागरिकों के लिए समानता और अवसर प्रदान करने के बारे में बात करती है। साथ ही इस क्रम में वह महिलाओं को वोट डालने का अधिकार भी प्रदान करती है। संविधान अनुच्छेद 15 भी लिंग, धर्म, जाति और जन्म के स्थान भेदभाव का निषेध करता है। अनुच्छेद 15 किसी भी राज्य को बच्चों और महिलाओं के लिए विशेष प्रावधान बनाने अधिकारित करता है। इसके अलावा भारतीय संविधान में नीति निर्देशक तत्वों में भी बहुत से ऐसे प्रावधान दिए गए हैं जिसके द्वारा महिलाओं को अधिक से अधिक सुरक्षा एवं हित के कार्य दिए जा सकते हैं। भारत में लैंगिक असमानता के कारण स्थितियों को यदि स्पष्ट किया जाए तो यहाँ पितृसत्तात्मक जो व्यवस्था है इसके कारण से महिलाओं को हमेशा पुरुषों से कम माना गया है और पुरुष तो जमा करके इसका दमन एवं शोषण करता है। देश में गरीबी एवं अशिक्षा का जो भाव है इस कारण से भी महिलाओं पर घर परिवार समाज एवं कार्य क्षेत्रों में विभिन्न स्तर पर भेदभाव किया जाता है। शिक्षा स्वास्थ्य पोषण न्याय व स्वतंत्रता में पक्ष हमेशा पुरुषों का लिया जाता है। संपत्ति का अधिकार हो चाहे शिक्षा एवं सत्ता में बराबरी का हक हो, इसमें पुरुष सत्ता अभी तक बराबरी को स्वीकार नहीं कर पाया है और इसकी स्वीकृति तभी मिलती है जब परिवार भी इसकी स्वीकृति देता है। देश की आधी आबादी के संदर्भ में यह कटु सत्य है कि सामाजिक शैक्षणिक और वैज्ञानिक यथार्थता के आधार पर में सामाजिक जीवन के प्राय प्रत्येक क्षेत्र में लैंगिक असमानता विद्यमान है। अब यदि देखें तो काम में सहभागिता, स्वास्थ्य सुविधाएं प्राप्त करने के स्तर, साक्षरता दर, संपत्ति, राजनीति आदि के साथ में आर्थिक उत्पादन में भागीदारी में महिलाएं अभी भी पूर्ण रूप से सशक्त नहीं हुई हैं। विश्व की आधी आबादी महिलाओं की है जो विकास में भूमिका निभाती है, फिर भी परिवार समाज में उन्हें आज भी वो स्थान प्राप्त नहीं हो पाया है जिनकी वो हकदार हैं। इसी प्रकार से कार्यस्थल पर भी लिंग भेद आज की संकीर्ण मानसिकता को प्रदर्शित करती है और सबके बीच तनाव, कुसमायोजन व कुंठाओं को जन्म देती है। समाज में नारी जीवन की इस त्रासदी को इस कविता के माध्यम से समझा जा सकता है। चाहा था मैंने हवा की तरह बहना, रुख ही मोड़ दिया मेरी कोशिश से पहले। उड़ना चाहा था जब पंछियों के साथ, बेदर्दी से मेरे पंख काट डाले। चाहा था मैंने फूलों की तरह खिलखिलाना, आदेश मिला बस खामोश रहने का। बहना चाहा था समंदर में नदी के साथ, रोक कर उस नदी को ही बांध बना दिया। चाहा था मैंने कोयल की तरह गाऊं, मैंने सुना बोलना भी पाप है मेरे लिए। चाहा था बंदूक उठाऊं, कमजोर तो वो नहीं कर पाऊंगी, बस यही कटाक्ष सुना हर बार। चाहा था मैंने खुद के लिए जीऊं, देखे सुने बिना बांध दिया खूंटे से मवेशी की तरह। चाहा था मैंने अपने से पहचाने जाऊं, पर दबती गई हमेशा बस एक छत और कई नामों के नीचे, बस एक छत और कई नामों के नीचे। स्वतंत्रता के पश्चात नव जागरण, औद्योगिक क्रांति, महानगरीकरण, जनसंचार क्रांति, बाजारवाद, वैश्वीकरण और बढ़ते उपभोक्तावाद ने भारतीय नारी जीवन की दृष्टि में व्यापक बदलाव किए। तमाम बंधनों, कुरीतियों, परंपराओं से मुक्त होती नारी की व्यक्तिगत, पारिवारिक, सामाजिक, राजनीतिक, आर्थिक भूमिका में बदलाव प्रतिबिंबित होते हैं। तार्किकता, प्रजातंत्र, औद्योगिक पूंजीवाद, विज्ञान एवं तकनीकी का प्रभाव उस पर भी पड़ा है। निर्णय के अधिकार के साथ ही वह प्रजनन व मातृत्व का अपना अधिकार सुरक्षित रखना चाहती हैं। शिक्षा की व्यापकता एवं वैश्वीकरण का भाव शहरों से उठकर गांवों तक भी पहुंचने लगा है। स्त्री कल्याण के अनेक कार्यक्रम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन फिर भी परंपराओं से स्त्री मुक्ति का संदेश अभी शहरों तक ही सीमित है। दुनिया की अधिकांश स्त्रियां आज भी मुक्ति की बाट जो रही हैं। मुस्लिम स्त्रियों के संदर्भ में यह भयानक सत्य है कि अभी भी वे बुर्के के से मुक्त नहीं हो पाई हैं। ऐसी स्थिति में नारीवादी आंदोलन और उससे जुड़ा बौद्धिक चिंतन आज भी प्रासंगिक है। समकालीन स्त्री के कार्य के घंटे अधिक हैं, लेकिन उसके बावजूद एक पुरुष की तुलना में उसकी बौद्धिक तथा संवेदनात्मक उपलब्धियां कम हैं। परिवार की पूंजी में स्त्री अपना श्रम लगाती है, मगर पारिवारिक निर्णय के क्षेत्र में उसकी बात का महत्व दोयम दर्जे का होता है। एक पुरुष की तुलना में उसके निजी यौन जीवन में स्वतंत्रता भी कम रहती है। प्रसिद्ध हिंदी साहित्य की लेखिका प्रभा खेतान के अनुसार महिलाओं की स्वतंत्रता पर्स से शुरू होती है। आर्थिक स्वतंत्रता ही वास्तविक स्वतंत्रता वे मानती है। वह स्त्री को देवी और दासी न मान करके मानवीय बनाने पर जोर देती है। स्त्री को गुलामी से मुक्ति प्रदान करने वाला एकमात्र औजार शिक्षा और आर्थिक स्वतंत्रता को वे मानती हैं। वे अपनी अहिल्या नामक कविता में लिखती हैं, उठो भूल जाओ दर्द का इतिहास, लगातार पत्थरों का व्याघात तुमने कभी धरती की छाती पर टेढ़े मेढ़े अक्षरों से टांका था अपना अस्तित्व। रात और मिलन का दिन का मिलन था तुम्हारे में बड़ी थी धुंधले सपनों के साथ चाह की नदी। इस प्रकार से आधुनिकता की अकुलाहट में स्त्री के संस्कारी व्यक्तित्व को अनेक प्रकार की समस्याओं से जूझने के लिए विशेष किया है। एक और हजारों वर्षों से चले आ रहे भारतीय नारी के पतिव्रत्य, त्याग एवं ममता के भावनापरक संस्कार इसके शिराओं में विद्यमान है, तो दूसरी ओर पुराने संस्कार क्रांत मानसिकता से मुक्त होने की चटपटाहट भी हमें दिखाई देती है। महिलाओं में बढ़ती शिक्षा, जागरूकता और संगठनात्मक शक्ति से विभिन्न देशों के सरकारों को झुकना पड़ा है और महिलाओं के हित व सुरक्षा के लिए कई कानूनों की मान्यता मिली है। महिलाएं हिंसा मुक्त परिवेश में सम्मान पूर्वक जीवन जी सकें, इसके लिए उन्हें सहयोग देने के साथ साथ उनका आर्थिक सशक्तिकरण भी जरूरी है। बाल लिंगानुपात में गिरावट, तरीके से लिंग और बाल विवाह, इन सभी से पता चलता है कि लैंगिक असमानता किस हद तक भारत के लिए चुनौती बना हुआ है। महिलाओं के साथ घरेलू हिंसा की घटनाएं भी बहुत होती हैं। विशिष्ट अल्पसंख्यक समूह की महिलाएं अपने जीवन हिंसा का सर्वाधिक सामना करती हैं। देश में हर 5 मिनट में घरेलू हिंसा की एक घटना दर्ज होती है। किसी भी समाज का युवा वर्ग ऐसा दृष्टिकोण, प्रभाव, आचरण विकसित कर सकता है जो सूचनाओं और सेवाओं को स्वस्थ रखने की मांग करे, भेदभाव की समाप्ति हो, विशेष रूप से बालिकाओं के खिलाफ, और ऐसा नागरिक समाज तैयार हो जिसका परिवेश सभी को समान रूप से दक्षता हासिल करे। इस प्रकार की नीतियों के निर्माण से ही देश में कहीं न कहीं का सपना है वह साकार हो सकता है। लैंगिक समानता का जो भाव है वह देश में व्यापक रूप में प्राप्त कर सकता है। राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर जो प्रयास किए जा रहे हैं, जनवरी 2015 में बालिकाओं का संरक्षण एवं सशक्तिकरण करने वाले अभियान बेटी बचाओ अभियान की शुरुआत की गई है। साथ ही यौन शोषण, घरेलू हिंसा, समान पारिश्रमिक से संबंधित कानूनों को मजबूती भी प्रदान की गई है। इसी तरह से राष्ट्रीय युवा नीति 2014 में युवाओं की संपूर्ण विकास पर भी बल दिया गया है। न केवल देश बल्कि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर भी संयुक्त राष्ट्र संघ की भूमिका को कहीं न कहीं सराहा गया है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय बनाने के साथ ही वे विश्व स्तरीय कानून का निर्माण किया जा रहा है। वर्तमान समय में महिला स्वतंत्रता एवं महिला मुक्ति की कुछ बदलकर आयाम भी हमें दिखाई देते हैं। आज की स्त्री मुक्ति के नाम पर दैहिक स्वच्छंदता की तरफ भाग रही है। पुरुषों से सहयोग की बजाय उसकी विरोधी बनती जा रही है। मुक्ति के नाम पर पारिवारिक जीवन की नींव कमजोर होती जा रही है। स्त्री बाजार का खिलौना बन रही है। बाजार से दिशाबोध ग्रहण कर स्त्री उन्मुक्त जीवन जीना चाहती है। स्त्री भोगवती दृष्टिकोण अपना रही है, जिसे हम आए दिन देख सकते हैं, जिससे कि बच्चों का भविष्य अंधकारमय प्रतीत होता है। उसकी सुरक्षा के लिए बनाए गए कानूनों का प्रयोग वह पुरुषों से बदले की भावना के रूप में कर रही है। लेकिन यहाँ भारत के संदर्भ में देखा जाए तो भारतीय संस्कृति एवं महिलाएं इस रूप में एक दूसरे की पूरकता के रूप में कार्य कर रही हैं। यह हम देख सकते हैं। बढ़ती उपभोक्तावाद और भौतिकतावादी दृष्टिकोण में भी मानवीय मूल्यों में जो गिरावट आ रही है, साथ ही पति पत्नी में सामंजस्य एवं सहिष्णुता की जो कमी हो रही है, इन परिस्थितियों से उबरकर एक स्त्री को अपनी संस्कृति की उदात्त गरिमा ही प्रस्तुत करनी चाहिए, जैसा कि हमारे भारत देश में परंपरागत रूप से जो परंपरा है वह चली आ रही है। इसी को संदर्भित करते हुए हिंदी साहित्य के प्रसिद्ध लेखक डॉक्टर विद्यानिवास मिश्र जी ने इसी बात को पुष्ट किया है कि संयुक्त परिवार शहरीकरण और औद्योगिकरण से भले ही टूट जाए, पर हिंदुस्तान के हिंदुस्तानी मन के पारिवारिक बोध में टूटन नहीं आएगी। भारतीय नारी की गरिमापूर्ण अस्मिता है, जो केवल मैं हूँ मैं समाहित नहीं, बल्कि मुझ में इतने भाव हैं, मैं उन भावों की परिपूर्णता हूँ, इतनी दूर तक सोचती है। इस अस्मिता का जितना अधिक प्रस्फुटन होगा उतना ही कम अवसर है कुंठा का, टूटन का, एकाकीपन का, यौन स्वच्छंदता में पलायन का, जवानी के लिए बिसूरने का, जवान बने रहने के लिए दयनीय साधना का और अपने को मात्र नारी मानने की विविधता का। मैं समझती हूँ विद्यानिवास मिश्र जी ने यह हमारी भारतीय संस्कृति के लिए बहुत ही अनुकूल बात कही है। नारी को समाज एवं परिवार में अपनी गरिमा बनाए रखना है, भारतीय संस्कृति की श्रेष्ठ मूल्यों एवं संस्कारों की नई ऊंचाइयां प्रदान करनी है ताकि आने वाली पीढ़ियां भी उस पर चलकर अपने व्यक्तित्व को सही दिशा प्रदान कर सकें। अंत में मैं आभार के रूप में इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज के प्राचार्य डॉक्टर शिवलाल जी सर एवं स्टाफ का एवं टेक्यूब थर्ड समिति का आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ जिन्होंने समसामयिक एवं विचारपरक वेबिनार का आयोजन किया है एवं उसमें मुझे अपने विचारों को प्रस्तुत करने का अवसर प्रदान किया है। इस वेबिनार से निश्चित ही महिलाओं की समानता एवं अधिकारों से संबंधित महत्वपूर्ण बिंदु उभर करके सामने आएंगे जिससे कि महिला सशक्तिकरण के अभियान को महत्ता मिलेगी और लैंगिक असमानता का जो भाव है वह दूर किया जाएगा। नारी जीवन की समर्पित एक कविता के साथ में मैं अपने विचारों को विराम दूंगी। कुछ दबी हुई ख्वाहिशें हैं, कुछ मंद मुस्कुराहटें, कुछ खोए हुए सपने हैं, कुछ अनसुनी आहटें हैं, कुछ दर्द भरे लम्हे हैं, कुछ सुकून भरे लम्हात, कुछ थमे हुए तूफान है, कुछ मध्यम सी बरसात, कुछ अनकहे अल्फाज हैं, कुछ ना समझ इशारे, कुछ ऐसे मजेदार हैं कि मिलते नहीं किनारे, कुछ उलझन है राहों में, कुछ कोशिशें बेहिसाब, बस इसी का नाम है जिंदगी, बस इसी का नाम है जिंदगी। चलते रहिए, चलते रहिए, चलते रहिए, चलते रहिए। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was really very impressive and excellent presentation by you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening us about the current situations of women. We are very thankful that you came and presented the views. Now, if any one of you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box for any speaker of today's webinar. I will be asking them your questions. If any one of you have any questions. Okay, we have a participant who want to say something. Now, it's a request that please here, ma'am, you can say that.
वंदे मातरम। हमारा देश पुरुष प्रधान देश है, यह सनातन से चला आ रहा है। हम लिंग भेद हमेशा से हो रहा है। हमारे देश में पुरुषों को प्रथम कहा गया है। परिवार में एक स्त्री की अहमियत नहीं दी जा रही है, परंतु नारी अब अबला नहीं है। नारी आत्मनिर्भर बन गई है, पर हमें इस बात को नकार नहीं सकते हैं। पुरातन में जब हमारे सामने बहुत से ऐसे उदाहरण हैं, जैसे रानी लक्ष्मीबाई, जीजाबाई आदि, जो आत्मनिर्भर थी। रानी लक्ष्मीबाई ने पूरे उनके साम्राज्य पर राज किया है और उन महारानियों को हम नहीं भूल सकते हैं। मैं वागड़ प्रदेश से हूँ। वागड़ में कालीबाई को पूजा जाता है। कालीबाई ने अपने गुरु की रक्षा के लिए अपने प्राणों का बलिदान दिया था, इसलिए हम नारी को अबला नहीं कह सकते हैं। इस संबंध में मैं 4 पंक्तियों के साथ अपनी वाणी को विराम दूंगी। चूड़ियों की खनक कभी जानकार भी बन सकती है, चूड़ियों की खनक कभी जानकार भी बन सकती है। उठो बता दो दुनिया को, उठो बता दो दुनिया को कि वक्त आने पर नारी एक चमकती तलवार भी बन सकती है। वंदे मातरम।
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I request Mr. Nitesh sir to carry the webinar forward. Mr. Nitesh sir.
Yes. Thank you. We have a very beautiful session done by our experts here. Also, our participants have asked questions. One of the questions that some of the participant has asked, named Education and News Yogesh Sharma, that कि सारी की सारी जो योजनाएं हैं वो सरकारी योजनाएं हैं और वुमेन के उत्थान एवं कल्याण के लिए सरकार लाती है, पर वो सारी की सारी जो है सिर्फ कागजों में रह जाती है। और जो हमारी जो महिलाएं हैं, परंपराएं हैं, रीति रिवाजों में बनी हुई है, तो इस स्थिति के लिए आज तक कौन जिम्मेदार है और इसके लिए क्या किया जा सकता है। तो मैं अपने एक्सपर्ट से चाहूँगा इसके बारे में कुछ एक्सपर्ट व्यूज जो कि टू दिस क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम योगेश शर्मा जी।
Can I take this question?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, ma'am.
हाँ, योगेश साहब, सबकी जिम्मेदारी है कि राइट्स ऑफ वुमेन प्रोटेक्टेड रहे, उनका स्टेटस और पोजीशन इम्प्रूव हो, और कुछ ज़्यादा ही जिम्मेदारी मीडिया की है। आई थिंक यू बिलोंग टू मीडिया सेक्टर, सो व्हाई डोंट यू पब्लिसाइज कि ये योजनाएं हैं, इसकी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में कुछ खामियां हैं। Perhaps once the voice of media rises very prominently, तो जो खामियां इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में रह रही हैं वो दूर कर दी जाएंगी। Anyway, improving status of women is responsibility of all stakeholders, women themselves, their family, the society, law, judiciary, and media. Thank you.
Thank you, Ermila Dayal ma'am, for sharing beautiful answer with us for this question. And I would like to know more questions. If anybody is having, we can type in our chat box here. So I hope today's session is complete with our experts' views, and I would like to invite now Mr. Shubham Awasthi for Thanksgiving session. So Mr. Shubham Awasthi, welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Nitesh sir. So it was very wonderful and informative sessions on gender equity and rights. So I would like to thank our beloved principal, Dr. Sivlal sir, for giving us the opportunity to organize such a wonderful event, all the participants and all the dignitaries. And I would like to thank the TechCube for sponsoring this particular webinar, and EAP section as well as Women's Cell for organizing it very effectively. In this, I would also like to thank all the experts with us, Mrs. Suchi Sama ma'am, who did not able to join somehow because of some other appointments, Mrs. Sarla Pandya ma'am, Principal Govind College, Dr. Irmala Dayal ma'am, lawyer and principal, Mrs. Madhuri Yadav, consultant TCS. So thank you all for providing us valuable insights about this gender equity and rights. Hope this will be very informative and valuable for all the participants. And I would also like to thank all the participants for their patience listening. And if you have missed this session, then you can also watch it on our YouTube channel, our college YouTube channel. I have already provided the link in the chat box. Even you can go and type on YouTube GC Banswara. You will get many other webinars content over there. And one message is there from the organizing team that you will get the feedback link in the chat as in the Telegram group. You can fill that feedback form. Okay, so after filling that feedback form, you will get the certificate. So 100 certificate will be issued today and remaining certificate will be issued tomorrow. So you will get Within 2-3 days, you will get your certificate. So do not need to panic for that situation. So thank you all for joining this session, and thank you, Nitesh sir. So hope we can conclude it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shubham sir. So I hope you have all gathered a lot of information about the gender equity and the rights from this webinar, a national level webinar sponsored by TechWeb3. And thank you very much for joining with us. Thank you.